Well, no magic tonight. Padres lose 7-5 in 10 innings to the D-backs. What I think really hurt the Padres was being down by 3 in this situation, down 7-4 going into the bottom of the 10th there, gives up 3 runs in that top of the 10th. And Wandy Peralta, I get it, Padres fans, we're going to be frustrated with Wandy tonight, but I think what I'm seeing on social media, shocker, is a little bit overboard. Those that are saying Matsui and Peralta wouldn't mind if they have a ticket to El Paso. I think people have said that about Enyo de los Santos as well. I think we got to remember, hey, Yuki Matsui, he went 12 outings before today, not allowing a run. Wandy Peralta has pitched in the big leagues for a while. He knows what he's doing. He's a pretty solid reliever. And today, yeah, it wasn't his best outing. It would have been nice if he would have fielded that dribbler down the third baseline instead of botching that. But the hit that he gave up to Christian Walker was a pitch, I believe that was outside the strike zone. It was off the end of the bat, and Walker's power just took it through the infield. Padres, I believe, were playing in, so that didn't help. I just don't think it was the worst outing. It was not what happened last night with Enyo. I don't think it was that bad. But Padres lose today, obviously. It sucks because it's one of those that you feel like the Padres could have won, especially if they would have limited that damage there in that 10th inning, because they come up and immediately they're able to go score a run after the D-backs were giving them extra base runners, right? They had a runner on second there in that 10th, and Manny walked to lead off that bottom of the 10th. Solano has the double, and right there's a run. Manny had to make sure, excuse me, not Manny. Who was at second? It was, who was at second? Crony. Crony had to make sure the ball got down, so he scores. Manny only is able to get to third. And if the Padres, if they gave up 1 run, okay, they're in the game. But giving up 3 there, that was a big backbreaker. I believe they did that, right? Earlier this year, they came back from down 3. That was the Profar Nats game, I believe, right? So they've done it, but that's hard to ask, even if it's the Padres that come back from deficits all the time. That's just hard to ask the Padres to do night in, night out, and literally night in, night out in this situation because they did it last night, having to come down from that deficit after choking the 5-run lead that they had there in that 9th inning. What also sucked was, and nothing against Bryce Johnson, we don't have high expectations for Bryce Johnson, and that's just the part of the order that it was at. When you need those 3 runs, you're going to have a lot of guys come up, you would think, right, in the lineup. And so even if you start the inning with, okay, Manny up at the plate, well, you're going to get down to the Bryce Johnsons of the world. And so he strikes out there. Kim strikes out. Higgy flies out, and the Padres lose. I thought a really sucky situation as well in this game was Manny up at the plate, and the game-tying run was at third base. Padres ended up tying it, obviously, but the game-tying run was up at third base in what inning was this? The bottom of the 7th. And the home plate umpire, Bill Miller, I believe is who it was. Right? Bill Miller, yeah. He was doing it to both teams. I'll give him credit there, I guess, is that he's consistent. But he was giving it to both teams, but still, those were not strikes. Those pitches on the outside part of the plate, or actually not on the outside part of the plate, outside the zone, in the left-handed batter's box, were being called strikes. And so Manny's up at the plate, game-tying run on third, and calls a strike for strike 2 in the count. And then Manny has to go out there and swing at a pitch that clearly he didn't want to swing at, clearly was a ball, but Bill Miller just called that pitch a strike, and Manny's one of the Padres' best hitters right now. He is on fire since he told Kevin Acee that he needed to turn this around, that he was going to turn this around. He's going to get it fixed, and boy, has he, but it just sucked. He had an RBI, by the way, today again. So I'm loving watching Manny play baseball right now. It just sucked that he got the bat taken out of his hands, essentially, in that situation. I know he swung. It wasn't striking out looking, but that second strike was not a strike. The third one, he only swung at because the second strike was called a strike. So frustrating. But um, you know, tonight was one of those where, Waldron, I thought it was a bounce back outing for him. He was able to provide length, even though there were some struggles there early on. It was sort of like Randy Vasquez last night. Um, Now, what I didn't agree with, it's easy to say this in hindsight, but I was thinking about it when this was happening. They sent Matt Waldron out there, Schilt did, for the seventh inning. He was already at over 100 pitches. And I'm like, why are we doing this? To face one batter, Eugenio Suarez, to face that one guy? Is it worth it? Now Suarez got on and Matsui comes into the game and he obviously gives up a run there. And it's just like, could you have given Matsui the clean inning there? Did you have to have Waldron go out there when you probably knew going in he wasn't going to go the entire inning? So I would question that. I wonder what Schultz going to say in his post game. But I don't want to make a bunch of excuses here. 11 guys left on base for the Padres tonight. Sure, 6 hits with runners in scoring position, but they had 19 opportunities. So I guess that's a positive, right? There was a lot of opportunities. D-backs were 4 for 11. So Padres had a lot more opportunities with runners in scoring position, but they didn't cash in, over 50%, something like that, right? 6 for 19. Um, Yeah, I mean, that's what I've got on it. But we can go through the scoring in this game. Again, Matt Waldron, one of the runs. So, yeah, he hung that knuckleball, the homer that he gave up, which was a bomb. But the Kevin Newman single, that wasn't hit very hard, right? I wasn't pissed off at that. Gurriel got him with the homer, made it 2-1 D-backs in the fourth. No scoring till the seventh inning when Herrera had that double down the line. Made it 3-1. Perdomo with the triple made it 4-1. But bottom seven, Profar came through, made it 4-2. That left field line got a lot of work tonight. 4-2. I love the Crony bunt that it wasn't even a sacrifice bunt because it's not like he was just having the bat out there. He got it late, or not late, it was perfect timing. Got the bunt down, beats it out. It's a 4-3 game. Padres making the comeback. Kim comes through with the double. I don't know what he was doing swinging at that pitch. It's easy for me to say just sitting on the couch watching the game, but late in that game, I think it was his last at bat, right? That somehow he made contact with it. It went right into the catcher's glove, but that ball was almost going to hit him and he swung at it to strike out. So maybe he was just antsy and was just going to swing almost like regardless. Didn't like that, but hey, he came through to tie it. I'm not going to get too mad at him when, he came up clutch there. And again, in that 10th inning, I don't think Wandy Peralta pitched terribly. It doesn't help that, there's a runner on second to start the inning. And then, you have infield in on the Christian Walker single. I'm not saying he pitched great. Like, yeah, he allowed base runners. This was not his best outing. But the Padres did have opportunities before extra innings. And it's not like he was giving up rockets all over the place. So the Padres, we move on now to tomorrow. Dylan Cease on the mound. We'll see if the Padres can take 2 out of 3. Again, I know we can get caught up in the winning streaks or the losing streaks, but what I care about most is consistently being able to win series. You're not going to win every series, so that's why the sweeps become important, right, throughout the season. But if the Padres can keep winning series, and this can be, I think, their 5th consecutive series win if they can get the win tomorrow, then I'm going to be a happy camper. You know, these games are going to happen. The D-backs, they have talent on that team, and that's that. We'll see if the Padres can get the win tomorrow.